Hi, my name's Kim J and I'm a volunteer for RNIB and I'm severely visually impaired. Now I've written 2 cookery books with all proceeds going to RNIB called A Sense of Cooking and A Taste of Spice. Now today I'm going to make a dish that's in my Indian cookery book, A Taste of Spice, called Bonnie's Chicken. It is a lovely Indian dish and it is creamy. You can have it as mild as you want it, and you can do it with either chicken or, if like me you're a vegetarian, with corn fillets. Now the ingredients you'll need are a bunch of coriander, a large tin of tomato tins, approximately 400 grams, a large tub of Greek yogurt, approximately 400 mils, a large tub of double cream, approximately 600 mils. You'll need about 3 green chilies, or as many as you want or don't want, as the case may be, about half to an inch of ginger, which we're going to finely chop, 3 cloves of garlic, which again we're going to finely chop, 4 large potatoes, 2 chicken breasts. We're going to need a teaspoon of salt, chili powder, again you can have that to taste, black pepper or garam masala, turmeric, a little bit of saffron and some tandoori powder. And that's the ingredients for Bonnie's chicken. I've got a food processor here. Now for those of you that don't have a food processor, don't worry, chop all the ingredients very finely and mix it together in a large mixing bowl. Now into the food processor I'm going to put the garlic, ginger and chilies, which I chopped very finely. It's a very, very easy recipe this. And into that I'm going to put the coriander, just leaving a little aside for garnish. And into that I'm putting that large tin of tomatoes. Like I said, very easy recipe. The Greek yogurt, now the great thing about this sauce is that I'm using 2 chicken breasts here and potatoes, but you can add very easily with the same quantity of sauce up to 6 chicken breasts. So if you want to do it as a dinner party or for a large family, it's very versatile. Now I've added all the double cream, and into that I'm going to put the turmeric. Turmeric is a rich yellow spice, very pungent, very earthy, and I'm putting about a teaspoon of worth in there. Into that goes either the black pepper or a garam masala, about a quarter of a teaspoon or more if you like it spicy and hot. Chili powder, love my chili, so I'm going to put a teaspoon, but for those of you that aren't into chilies you can just vary that. And then into that then goes the salt. Again about a teaspoon's worth, and you just blitz. Just blitz that up. Now into that I'm going to put about a teaspoon to 2 teaspoons of tandoori powder and a pinch of saffron. Now if you don't have saffron, because saffron is very, very expensive, you can omit that and it's not an issue. And again, put it in and blitz it up. I blitz the sauce. Now taste it. Always taste the sauce, and it's fine to taste at this stage. Check for salt, chili powder, and add more if you want, and that is perfect. I've put the mixture to one side that we've just done the sauce, and I have peeled and cut the 4 potatoes. Now you want the 4 potatoes in approximately 1.5 centimetres kind of squares. And I'm going to stick this into my steamer. Now, if you don't have a steamer, you can boil them. I love a steam a steamer, especially being visually impaired, because for me it's safe. I'm not messing about with pans and hot water on the hob, and especially when you cook things like vegetables, it retains all the nutrients in there. So we're going to cook these potatoes until they are just cooked. So the knife goes through easily, which is approximately sort of 10 minutes, but keep checking on it and leave it to steam away there. I've cooked the potatoes, now they are soft, so the knife goes through really easy, and it almost feels as if the potatoes is going to break whilst you're putting the knife through. Now I'm going to put these potatoes into that sauce that we've made. And into there, I'm also going to put the chicken breast and give it a quick stir. Now I'm going to place it into a large ovenware dish, approximately 20 centimetres long, and just put all that lovely chicken and potatoes into that dish. And as you're pouring it, you can smell the spices, the coriander, the garlic, the ginger, the tandoori powder. Now a little bit of a garnish, so half of the coriander that you had left over, just sprinkle it on top, cover it, and now put it into the fridge for at least 4 or 5 hours. Now I preferably prefer it for at least 2 days to allow those spices to marinate that chicken and the flavour to soak through. I pulled out this marinated chicken and potatoes from the fridge. I'm going to give it a quick stir and put it into the oven at 180 degrees C for approximately 30 minutes, just to let it sort of flavour through. Now I like this dish slightly crispy and brown, so I sometimes go for 40 minutes, but that's up to your taste. I've pulled out the Bonnie's chicken from the oven. It was in for approximately 40 minutes. Now what I'm going to do, just to finish it off, I'm going to garnish it with some of the coriander. And trust me guys, the smell of this kitchen is divine. The mixture of the creams and the spices and the coriander, it's just filling the whole house. Now what would I serve with this with? With rice, plain boiled rice, with naan. I particularly like fresh bread and butter. Love it with fresh bread and butter. The bread just soaks up all that gorgeous sauce. Very adaptable, very easy to make, and extremely tasty. That's Bonnie's chicken. Now you have a recipe for a great dish, but when you're in the kitchen there are certain safety guides and rules that you should adhere to, and which keeps you safe. Now one of the things that I do before I start cooking is I make sure that I've got shoes on that are sturdy with good grips. I make sure that there's nothing on the floor that I can trip over, and there are no spillages or liquid or condensation on the floor that makes it a bit of a hazard. Now, before cooking, the first thing that you do, as we all know, is wash our hands thoroughly. And especially when you're dealing with raw meat at every stage, wash your hands thoroughly. It stops cross-contamination. It keeps you and your family safe. When you're using the oven and the hob, know your oven and hob really well. Now I use tactile markings so that I know exactly what temperature to put the oven on and what setting, so that I've not put the grill on when I should be putting the oven on. Now with the hob, whenever you're sort of putting anything on the hob, make sure the handle is not sticking out. Now I like to keep the handle at approximately 10 to 12. And the reason for that is it's not near enough to the unit for you to accidentally knock it off. It is not over another hob which may be on, so the handle's getting hot. So this is the safest position. Now if you're boiling anything, be very, very careful. Don't fill the pan up too much. And if possible, use the boiler alert, which tells you when that liquid is bubbling away and it's hot, and it keeps you safe. If you're not comfortable with the hob and the oven, use the microwave whenever you can. It's a lot safer. And every time you are taking things out of the oven or from the microwave, because remember, plates and dishes get extremely hot in the microwave, use oven gloves. Now, I like to use thermal oven gloves. They're a lot safer. Don't be tempted to use tea towels or anything else. And they literally go to extreme temperatures, so you're very safe with them. Whenever you cut any food in the kitchen, use safe cutting methods. Keep the blade away from your fingers, so set it a couple of millimeters away from your fingers, and that way you're safe all the time. Now, if you're not confident with a knife, you can use appliances like food processors. Make sure you know how they work properly, and keep safe. And if you're still not confident, ask somebody else to do it. It is better to be safe than have an injury. If you have any cuts or you cut yourself whilst you're in the kitchen, put a plaster on it. And if you have a burn, run it under cold water. And if it's bad, you seek medical advice straight away. Whenever you cook meat, always ensure that the meat is thoroughly cooked, because you know, raw meat will give you food poisoning. Now, the best optimum temperature to cook meat is between 66 degrees and 73 degrees. Use a food thermometer if you're not too sure. They do have talking food thermometers, which you can get quite easily. And you store the meat as soon as you can. As soon as it's cooled down, store it straight away in the fridge and read the advice on storage on the labels.